You've probably been there. You drop in some frozen fruit, pour your favorite juice, hit blend, and nothing. The motor struggles, chunks spin around untouched, and by the end, you're left with a noisy mess and a smoothie full of icy bits. Or maybe you've got a basic blender that works okay, but you're tired of pushing everything down with a spoon, cleaning sticky residue from awkward corners, or dealing with lids that never quite seal properly. That's exactly why I wanted to take a deeper look at the Tiger Smoothie Blender, a Japanese-designed machine that's been quietly getting attention for doing things a little differently. After 4 years of engineering, Tiger came up with a unique 45-degree diagonal blade system. It's not just a gimmick. This angle creates a vortex that pulls ingredients into the center, helping eliminate dead zones where food usually gets stuck. This video isn't about hyping up another expensive gadget. It's about answering the questions that actually matter. Is it easy to use? Does it blend better than cheaper options? What about frozen fruit, hot soups, or nut butters? And yes, are there any downsides you should know about before spending nearly $400? One thing I noticed right away: it doesn't have a pour spout on the container. Sounds small, but if you're someone who transfers smoothies into narrow bottles, it's something you'll definitely want to consider. I'll go into more detail on that later, along with how it handles tougher ingredients and whether the speed control is really as intuitive as it looks. If you're just looking for a clear, honest breakdown before making a decision, you're in the right place. The full specs and current pricing are linked below. If that sounds good to you, give this video a like, subscribe if you're into real kitchen reviews, and let's break this down together. So let's talk about what you'll actually see and feel when you place the Tiger Smoothie Blender on your counter. Because looks matter, but so does practicality. Following up on what I mentioned earlier, the container doesn't have a spout, and that's something you'll notice the first time you try to pour into a narrow bottle or mason jar. You might need a funnel if that's part of your routine, which isn't ideal for a blender at this price. That said, the container is made of Tritan, not glass, which some people prefer for being lightweight, shatter-resistant, and BPA-free. Others might feel a blender that costs close to $400 should come with glass, and I get that. It's really a matter of priorities, safety and weight, or that heavier, more premium feel. As for the design, this isn't a flashy appliance. It's actually quite understated. Sleek black body, minimal interface, and no buttons. Everything is controlled by a single dial, which glides smoothly and offers 10 speed levels plus a pulse mode. That gives you precision without clutter, and it's easy to adjust even if your hands are wet or you're multitasking. But what truly makes this blender stand out visually and mechanically is that 45-degree diagonal blade system. At a glance, the jar looks slightly tilted, and that's by design. The angled blades help create a strong vortex inside the jar, which reduces the need to stop and scrape down the sides. It's subtle, but it changes how the ingredients move inside, especially when blending thicker mixes like smoothies with frozen banana or nut butter. The overall footprint is compact, around 14 inches tall and under 7 inches wide. It won't dominate your counter, but it does look sharp and intentional, like a high-end piece of kitchen gear, not a plastic appliance that you hide away. Now that we've covered the design, let's get into what really matters: how this blender actually performs when you use it in a real kitchen setting, not just in a product video. First, let's address something I noticed during the design breakdown. While the angled blades and tilted jar do help with creating a strong vortex, this blender seems to perform best when you add a little more liquid than you might with other models. One reviewer even pointed out needing to adjust their usual smoothie recipe because thicker blends required a higher liquid ratio. It's not a flaw per se, but it's something to be aware of, especially if you like your smoothies on the thicker side. That said, once you dial in your recipe, the texture is seriously impressive. Frozen fruits like strawberries, mango, and pineapple get fully broken down, even when mixed with tougher ingredients like spinach or protein powder. The result is silky, with no gritty bits at the bottom. The 10 speed levels give you real control, so you're not stuck between too slow to blend and too fast to manage. The pulse mode is another high point. Instead of a basic on-off blast, it ramps up like a mini engine rev. That's useful when you're doing quick chops, like breaking up ice, nuts, or even giving a chunky salsa a few controlled spins. It feels precise, not aggressive, and yes, it handles hot ingredients well. You can go from sautéed vegetables straight into blending a soup without worrying about cracking the jar or releasing toxic fumes, since Tritan is both heat-resistant and BPA-free. Just remember not to exceed the max fill line, especially with hot liquids. Performance-wise, the Tiger SLB-A10U blends like a much larger commercial-grade unit, but with better control and a quieter motor. Still, the lack of a spout remains a recurring annoyance if you prep drinks to go. So, after testing the performance in real-world recipes, the next question is, what's it like to use this blender every day? Because power means nothing if using it feels like a chore. And that's where the Tiger SLB-A10U brings both convenience and a few small compromises. Let's start with ease of use. The dial-based control system is as simple as it gets. No confusing presets, no digital screens to scroll through. Just turn the knob to the speed you want. It's ideal for people who don't want to learn a machine, especially if you're sharing the kitchen with someone less tech-inclined. The snap lock lid is another practical touch. It won't activate unless fully locked in, which might slow you down a second or two, but adds a great layer of safety, especially around kids. It also prevents those dreaded mid-blend explosions where soup ends up on your cabinets. Now, on to cleaning. The container, lid, and blades are all dishwasher safe, and the container comes apart easily. But here's something to consider. There are multiple small crevices in the locking mechanism and blade assembly where thicker blends can get trapped. If you're making nut butters or baby food, you may need to do a quick rinse right after blending to avoid residue buildup, even if you plan to put it in the dishwasher later. Also, because the container doesn't have a spout, as we've mentioned before, pouring without making a mess takes some practice. It's not a deal breaker, but it's one of those small usability quirks that might stand out if you're blending often and storing in narrow bottles. As for durability, the materials feel solid and the unit stays stable during blending thanks to its weight and rubberized base. It doesn't shift or walk across the counter like lighter blenders sometimes do. So, after taking a deep dive into design, performance, and daily usability, here's the big question. Is the Tiger Smoothie blender worth nearly $400? If what you're looking for is smooth, consistent blending without the noise, clutter, or guesswork that comes with other machines, this blender delivers. The 45-degree blade system really does change the game when it comes to texture, especially with frozen fruits and leafy greens. It's also one of the quieter, high-powered blenders out there, which matters more than people think, especially if you've got kids sleeping or you're working from home. It's not perfect, though. The lack of a spout and the need for more liquid in thicker blends are real considerations. If you're used to dumping thick smoothies into water bottles or making dense nut pastes, those details might slow you down. And while the Tritan TM container is lighter and safer than glass, some might miss the heft and polish of a glass pitcher at this price point. That said, if you want reliability, ease of use, and a truly unique blending system that doesn't require a learning curve, the Tiger SLB-A10U might just earn its place on your countertop. It's not just a blender, it's the kind of tool that can become part of your daily routine, from breakfast smoothies to dinner soups and everything in between. If this review helped you figure out if this blender fits your needs, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoy real-world kitchen reviews, and let me know in the comments. What's the one thing you wish your current blender did better? And remember, if you want to check the current price or get more details, the link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.